Thank you, Rod Kirkman. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Town Hall. I would like firstly to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of our land, and to pay my respects to their elders. I also acknowledge the people of 200 nations who live in our city. Despite the inevitable disruption of an election year, the city remains firmly on track to achieve its goals, and I thank all former and new councillors for their work on the important issues facing Sydney. I'm honoured to have been re-elected as Lord Mayor for a third term, with a strong mandate of over 50% of the Lord Mayoral vote to continue the city's leading, progressive work. During my first term, we prepared a comprehensive strategy to equip Sydney for the 21st century. That Sydney 2030 strategy looks to build a Sydney that is sustainable environmentally, economically, socially and culturally. Since 2004, this council has completed a significant program of work through a large degree of consensus, with decisions based on research and consultation, and with balanced budgets and no debt. We have the funds to achieve the major projects ahead that we identified as needed to secure the prosperity and livability of our city. The greatest challenge facing our city remains global warming, with evidence growing that we are in the critical decade. Swift change will be essential for our economy, our way of life and our children's future. I went to the election strongly advocating for continued action and received endorsement to continue that important work. The city is completing complex negotiations with Origin Energy for new precinct-based tree generation at Green Square and Prince Alfred Park. Many businesses already operate Trigen, but we aim to create a network that maximizes environmental benefit and provides a viable financial model for taking the city off the coal-fired grid. We are developing our master plan for renewable energy and, under the contract we have with Origin Energy, 30 sites will be fitted with solar panels over the next 2 years, supplying over 12% of our energy needs. Our program to replace public domain lights with low-energy use LED lamps is ahead of schedule. Work with the private sector continues through the Better Building Partnership. 13 property owners who are collectively responsible for nearly 60% of our CBD office space working with us on emission reductions, and the City Switch program, which now has Commonwealth funding to help office tenants reduce their environmental footprint. Our Smart Green Business program has helped almost 300 businesses improve their environmental performance and, importantly, reduce operating costs. We're also supporting residents looking for more sustainable living, whether it's through the Smart Green Apartment program, workshops or the 16 community gardens, footpath gardens, or our proposed City Farm. 2012 has been a challenging year for many businesses, so we have expanded our support. We coordinated Sydney as Fashion to position Sydney as a fashion destination. In partnership with the NSW Government and Haymarket Chamber of Commerce, we ran the Asia on Your Doorstep campaign from July to September to promote Chinatown. We supported Sydney University's Sydney China Business Forum in September and produced the Sydney Chengdu Business Forum as part of our Chinese New Year. Following a successful trial in April, a comprehensive meet and greet program will operate during the coming cruise ship season. The pilot program engaged over 3,000 passengers and brought very positive feedback. Let's Talk Business and our Talking Shop seminars have been popular and useful to retailers, as have the 101 workshops for people wanting to set up new small businesses. This year's business awards were our biggest yet. A record 830 businesses were nominated and more than 60,000 people voted across the 22 categories. We've also supported startups at council-owned properties in Oxford Street and William Street. The 16 offices and 4 retail spaces occupied this year support more than 250 workers and 200 artists and creative workers, and Council has granted a 2-year extension to December 2014. We're working with property owners to encourage them to activate other unused spaces, and we're working with the City of Melbourne's Creative Spaces website to provide information on spaces available in Sydney. We've completed the first stage of extensive improvements, created shared spaces for cars and pedestrians, improving lighting and street furniture and introducing public art. The visitor information kiosk looks terrific and is a great success. And that's just one of the projects that many of you have helped us with this year. The historic Gardeners Lodge at Victoria Park is now a cafe with a bush tucker flavour. Former Burton Street Tabernacle will reopen as the 200-seat Eternity Playhouse early next year. The world-famous Old Alamein Fountain in Fitzroy Gardens has been meticulously restored. The refurbished Glebe Town Hall is about to welcome back the community, and improvements for local parks and playgrounds continue. In June, we launched plans for 9 new laneway projects, with landscaping, public art and opportunities for outdoor dining, and work is now underway at Albion Place and in King Street, Newtown. We're at work on installing smart poles. We have focused, too, on some of the city's long neglected areas, providing a fantastic new youth, family and community centre at Waterloo and a refurbished children's playground, and continued our matching grants program in Roll Up Redfern to help property owners take down the shooters. We are continuing to press the case of light rail to transform George Street and support the investment by major retailers in this great street. Our Connecting Our City strategy aims to make the city calmer, cleaner and better connected, with faster public transport trips, increased bike and walking trips, and less peak hour congestion. Our cycleway program continues with an emphasis on safe connections to popular destinations. Independent bike counts on our separated cycleways show that cycling has almost doubled since 2012. We're also working hard to encourage safe cycling behavior, speaking directly to cyclists to encourage safe and legal cycling. Public transport will become even more important as new developments come online in urban renewal areas such as Ashmore Estate, Central Park, Harold Park and Green Square. At Green Square, we will soon exhibit a voluntary planning agreement with Lancome Mirvac Leighton for sites within the town centre, and we have undertaken demolition for our own projects at the former South Sydney Hospital site. We aim to provide needed infrastructure as the population and workforce grows, and have shortlisted 5 finalists for the design of a new Green Square library and community centre. The city has committed $440 million to public infrastructure and facilities at Green Square over the next 10 years, including $50 million to date for a transport corridor that is normally a responsibility for the state. Our determination to get results seems increasingly to require funding towards state work. $180 million committed to support light rail in the CBD, $37 million in public domain works to integrate Barangaroo with the city, $4.5 million for CCTV equipment over the past 5 years to support policing, $2.7 million annually for homelessness services, and more than $48 million to upgrade Crown Reserve's Such Hyde and Prince Alfred Park, with a further $2.5 million annually for maintenance. We've this year completed 5 years of research and consultation to endorse the new city plan, updated planning controls that consolidated 60 existing planning documents. I'm told that state sign-off on the local environment plan is imminent. This calendar year, the city will deal with approximately 1,800 development applications, worth $2.9 billion in new development. 22 of the largest of these, valued at $2.5 billion, were considered by our highly regarded Central Sydney Planning Committee. There's an urgent need for housing as Sydney's population grows, with an extra million people predicted in Sydney by 2026 and NSW government targets of 61,000 new homes in the city of Sydney by 2036. We are on track to meet the target, with over 5,000 dwelling approvals that haven't yet started. This includes significant new residential projects in Waterloo and Zetland, Stage 2 of Meriton's VSQ project, Leighton's Eco project, a truly excellent heritage project for the Royal Edward Victualling Yard building at Piermont, and of course the first 2 stages of Mirvac's Harold Park were approved and are now underway. The site will ultimately provide 1,250 new homes, with some affordable housing and significant new open space. The city is continuing to forge excellent relationships with the Department of Planning and Infrastructure, in particular with senior staff Sam Haddad, Richard Pearson, Neil McGuffin and the Sydney East Regional Director, Juliet Grant. We've also progressed work to make Sydney a lively cultural centre, with artworks including Earth v Sky at Glebe Point, the Watling Tree in Albion Place, and Between Two Worlds in Chinatown. Council has endorsed 7 key projects for the Eora Journey honouring Aboriginal culture, developed a public art strategy for Green Square, and issued tenders for a public art curator for the city centre, with a special focus on George Street. Our innovative nighttime economy policy is nearing completion and we are establishing a task force of experts to help develop an action plan to promote live music and performance. And of course we continue to support festivals and cultural events, including Christmas, New Year's Eve, Sydney Festival, Chinese New Year and Mardi Gras, to name just a few of the major upcoming celebrations. I thank all the businesses and organisations that have worked with us to help make Sydney an even better place, and to keep it as Australia's premier city. I also thank all our city staff, under the leadership of Monica Barone, who dedicate themselves to those same goals. And can I just add our partner for 2012 New Year's Eve is the Fred Hollows Foundation, who has restored sight to over 1 million people around the globe over the past 2 decades. Thanks to Fred, the foundation can now restore sight for just $25. We have buckets and people. On your way out today, who can take your donations and give you receipts. I wish you all a very happy, safe and enjoyable Christmas and look forward to working with you in 2013. Thank you.